the ultimate guide to reducing risk in your property investment. You see, I've got so many people wanting to invest in properties, but they're worried about the risk that involved in it. They're worried they're going to lose all their money. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to minimize your risk when investing in property investment. Hey guys, it's Rahim. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, smash the subscribe button because I talk about property investment, personal development, and how to gain financial freedom. For those who don't know me, I started my property investment journey just over 8 years ago because I was in a job where I was undervalued, underappreciated, going nowhere. I took the leap to start my property investment journey with little money to building a multi-million pound property investment portfolio by firstly renting properties out from landlords, and I subsequently rent them out. The money I made from there I used to buy my own investment properties. I now help investors like yourself to use property as a vehicle to make passive recurring income. So how do you reduce the risk when investing in property? Here's the thing, some of you, investing in property is one of the biggest, if not the biggest investment you would have ever made when you start your property investment journey. So obviously risk is paramount for you and you want to reduce the risk drastically in order to ensure your money is working not just a lot harder for you, but you're not losing it as well. So in this video, I'm going to eradicate all that. But before we get, I'd like to thank everybody who's subscribed to my channel. You've done amazing. The channel is growing immensely. It's at a peak where I would only dream of. A couple of years ago when I started this channel, I thought it would have never get to the amount of subscribers that we already have. So thank you. I would have never got here without your support. But for the people who just watched this video, if this is your first video, I'd like you to hit the subscribe button, and whilst you're there, smash the like and share the video to friends and family as well. How do we minimize risk in investing in property? Because end of the day, you want to reduce the risk drastically whilst you increase the return you get in your investment property. So the first thing you want to do is to conduct thorough research. What do I mean by that? Investigate your local property market, including historic prices, historic demands, and future development plans. So it's important for you to do that thorough research to know your investment area. And most importantly, you don't want to start your investment, you don't want to start to do your research in this city today. Tomorrow you hear someone talk about another city, you move to that city, you start to do your research there. You have to be specific. You have to understand what the reason your investment is for, and what are your goals? What sort of returns are you expecting? Because here's the thing, if you're following what everybody's doing, you end up doing it the wrong way, or end up doing it but not having serious return on your investment. So you need to have your own goal and your objective in mind, and you do a thorough research based on your investment area, not based on what other people are saying, not based on what other people are doing, because every end of the day, everybody has their own aims and objectives. They've got their own goals, they've got their own way of investing. So make sure your investment sits with your way of investing. Next, diversify portfolio. I'm not big on diversification here, especially if you're just starting out. I like to say do one strategy first, master that strategy, have 3 or 4 properties in that same investment strategy before you start diversifying. But if you're in that position now where you've got 1 or 2 or maybe 3 properties and you're thinking of diversification, it's important for you to diversify, because the reason why you diversify is to spread out your risk whilst you spread out the return you make as well. Maybe you want to diversify in the residential property investment. You could look for maybe family-let properties. You mix that up with HMO properties, meaning house in multiple occupation, where you can buy a house instead of renting it to a whole family. You can rent it per room, which gives you a better and higher return on your investment. Perhaps you want to start looking at serviced accommodation. Some people call it Airbnb, where you'll be renting your property instead of room by room or to a family, you're renting it per night to make, again, a higher return on your investment. Perhaps you want to start investing in mixed-use properties, where you can have a residential property above and then the below becomes a commercial, maybe a corner shop or something like that. So you can diversify that way to spread your risk, or you can diversify altogether into commercial real estate investment as well. But what I've advised you to do is don't start diversifying at the beginning, because if you diversify at the beginning, your energy is spread out, your focus is spread out, you end up getting lesser results, because obviously wherever energy goes, focus goes. So if the focus are everywhere, you will lose concentration because you're not putting your energy equally to all these areas. So I'd advise you to invest in one specific strategy. Perhaps you want to do family-led first. Do family-led, know it inside out. Do a couple of properties, maybe 3 properties, or maybe even 5 properties just in family-led. Maybe then you move on HMO, learning how to buy properties, convert them into house in multiple occupations, so in order for you to rent it in a room by room basis to make better return on your investment. But in essence, if you diversify, it reduces your exposure in one sort of investment strategy. But I'd advise you to stick to one strategy if you're just starting out, until you become a professional in that strategy before you move into any other strategy. But if you've already started, you've got your 3rd or 4th property, you want to try an investment strategy, maybe you want to try HMO or maybe service accommodation to see how that pans out. But focus on that strategy to ensure that it works for you really, really well before you move to any other investment strategy. This is a big one, securing finances wisely. I've seen so many people lose lots and lots and lots of money. Not just money, they even lose the investment properties because they've done the financing completely the wrong way without having any idea of what they're getting themselves into, and they get to hot water and it becomes a very terrible decision they've ever made. So I have investors that have approached me that are in problems like that, which was a really, really daring problem and difficult problem to be in, because in some situations it's very hard to untangle what you've tangled yourself in. So in essence, if you're getting any lending, you're securing any loan, make sure you are approaching the right caliber of people to help you raise those funds. Consider fixed rate mortgages. Consider what are the terms of the mortgages. How long is your mortgage? What is your monthly interest payment? And most importantly, if you're using a bridging loan, what is the consequences if your bridging loan expires? What are the options do you have if your loan were to expire? You may be asking, what is bridging loan? Bridging loan is a short-term lending that you get to buy a property in order for you to renovate it or add more value, and you subsequently remortgage that property to pay the bridging. It's a short-term lending, very volatile, very expensive, so you need to know what you're doing. So my advice when it comes to securing finances, to get a professional mortgage broker. Most importantly, get someone to guide you, coach you, and mentor you to ensure they are able to steer you away from any mistakes you could have made without having the right guidance. And believe me or not, that will save you thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands in the long run. Another big one is understanding the legal requirement. Familiarize yourself with the UK property law, including tenant right, safety regulations, and property management responsibility to avoid any legal issues. Because here's the thing, if you own a property, you don't know what the legal consequences are if things goes wrong. It could come back hunting you down. You see, so in order for you to buy a property in this country, you need to understand what the legal processes are, what solicitors are looking for if you're to buy a property, how they review your finances, what are the legal requirements they will need from you and from the seller to ensure that transaction is a legal transaction. Because I've seen investors that really, really struggle when it comes to solicitors. They sometimes think their solicitors is literally acting against them, only for them to realize that solicitors actually working, doing the right thing legally to protect them, the solicitors, as well as them, the investors. So it's very important for you to know what's required, because here's the thing, if you buy a property that you're not supposed to buy, literally it's going to be a big problem for you, especially properties that do not have a registered owner, or perhaps properties that have been bought for less than 6 months ago. If you go and buy properties like that, sometimes it becomes a trouble properties, because the lenders don't like to lend money on properties that have been owned by the previous owner for less than 6 months, or maybe you're going to struggle to complete if there is no registered owner in an investment property. And believe me, this happens sometimes, because back in the days people would pass away, they have not done the probate properly, and there's no name on the land register of the owner of that property. So it becomes a bit of a nightmare if you do not know what you're doing. But having a legal advice, someone to advise you before you even buy that property, or advise you during the legal process, it sets you up for any difficulties you may face in the future. Or the solicitors will tell you about the problem, and they will tell you how to overcome issues like that. If you've got a mentor, a coach, you can tell them about that. They may have gone through something similar. They will advise you how to stay away from that, or how to protect yourself, or what to do to overcome that objection. Another big one, use professional property managers. Do not cut corners. Don't say, oh, I'm going to manage my property, I'm going to do that. Believe me or not, it would cost you a lot more than giving it to a property manager to manage it. Here's why. You see, if you're managing a property, if you want to be a property investor, managing a property is just going to suck your time away. So instead of you looking for property deals, looking for the next best deal, you'll be busy replying to tenant inquiries, replying to repair maintenance, trying to find maintenance team to go and sort all the problems out. But if you've got a management agent, a property manager, they will be dealing with that issue. All they will be asking is to find out or to confirm whether you're happy for them to send someone there, instead of you replying to tenant inquiries or tenant stuff. So you want to be giving that to property manager who knows what they're supposed to do, and then you then become a property investor rather than a management agent. Because end of the day, in order for you to make serious return on investment, you'd want to be a property investor rather than a property manager. And if you've got a property manager, it reduces the amount of voids you have in your rental property as well. Because most tenants, if they know they're dealing with the landlord directly, they may take advantage. They may not pay you your rent, but if they know they're dealing with a professional body, a professional estate agency, it becomes a professional relationship. So they will be more serious paying the rent rather than paying it directly to a landlord. I'm telling you, I've seen investors burned by thinking, I'm going to do this just one property, I'm going to do it myself, knowing that was the worst thing they could ever do. So if you are thinking of managing your own investment property, perhaps you want to think again. Give it to an estate agency, give it to a management agent to manage the property in order to release that time to focus in building your own investment portfolio. Another one is keeping an eye on emergency funds. You see, if you've got a property that you've bought for an investment purpose, it's important for you to be leaving money for emergency. And here's the thing, the way I work with my investors, in our analysis, we factor in something that we call repair and maintenance. So what we do every single month, once we've got our rent, we're putting aside that repair and maintenance amount. We're not going to spend it. We're not going to do anything with it. If anything, we're going to save it for when there's repair and maintenance. And also, just in case there are any voids, tenants are not being able to pay rent, we've got these funds to support us for when we're not making any income or for when we have repair and maintenance to do. And this would help you handle financial setbacks without having the distress of finding money elsewhere to do the repair and maintenance. So if anything, if you are serious about your property investment journey, even the profit, you shouldn't be spending the profit. You should be saving it in order to go again and buy another property. Final, and one of the most important, is monitor the market trend. Regularly review the property market data. Why do you do that? You want to know where the rent is. You want to know how much properties are going up in value in your investment area. Because end of the day, even if you've got a property manager, in most cases, they may not even renew the tenancy agreement they have with the tenant when the tenancy expires. In essence, reviewing market trend enables you to know where the rents are. It also enables you where the value of your property is. And reviewing that market trend allows you to instruct your management agents to increase the rent accordingly, especially knowing when your tenancy agreement with every tenant expires, because you want to be increasing your rent every single year in order to protect you against inflation and a higher interest rate. And I've seen people burnt in this. They've got a nice tenant in the property, tenant is paying rent every single month, the year ends, because the tenant is so nice, they're worried if they increase the rent, the tenant will start paying, and they do not increase the rent. It goes on to second year, it goes on to third year, and then they end up getting significantly below market rent. In third year, they are likely to be remortgaging their property. So when it's about to remortgage the property, the bank will look at the rents that they're making versus how much the property has gone up in value. The bank will not be able to lend them that money because they're not making enough rental income here in order to get that value, to get that appreciation they would have gained. So if you are a property investor, the only way you're able to remortgage and pull some money out is if you're increasing your rent accordingly. So if you've not been doing that and you are a landlord or a property investor, now is the time for you to bear that in mind every single year. If the year's already ended, you haven't done it, it's not too late. Ring your estate agency, tell them, hey, my rent is this for this month, but next month, couple of months time, I want my rents to increase to the fair market rent. Right, because that would help you drastically for when you're about to remortgage. Because you want to be getting fair market or slightly over market rent, to be honest, in order for you to be able to remortgage to pull some of your investment out. So if you've not been doing that, it's about time to do that now. And monitor the property value trend as well to understand how much your property has gone up in value, so that you can be prepared for when you're about to remortgage. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video has been helpful. If this video has been helpful, smash the like button below, subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. I look forward to sharing the next one.